One of the biggest problems I have with the majority of the e-bikes I own is that I have a very hard time transporting them. Mainly because I have this car and I don't have a trunk. The trunk space is way too small to fit a bike in there. The side door doesn't open fully, so I can't even fit the handlebars through it. I used to have this rear rack that attached to my trunk, but that was made for normal bicycles, but e-bikes are a lot heavier, so they exceed the weight capacity, so that wasn't an option. And I don't have a hitch on this car to be able to install a heavy duty rack so that you can support a heavier bike. And I don't really feel like going out and purchasing a new truck or an SUV just to be able to haul bikes around. So what do you do if you're in a situation like this? I think a great solution to this problem is to get a folding e-bike. This is the Flyer folding cargo e-bike. It's the same brand that makes those Radio Flyer wagons, so it's super nostalgic seeing it. And that's why I got the color red, because I think it just fits so perfectly to their old school wagon. But this e-bike in particular folds down super nicely, and it just gets the job done when you need to toss it in your car to load it up with you when you need to go drive somewhere else. I also feel like they very thoughtfully created this e-bike because it condenses down so nicely. Everything has a designated spot to go to. It also comes with this rubber strap that wraps around the e-bike so that you can kind of secure it in place. Also, none of the material on this e-bike is rubbing together in any way, so you're not going to ruin your bike by folding it up and you have the metal rubbing together. The pedals fold down really nicely, the handlebars fold down really nicely, and it's also pretty lightweight compared to a lot of my other e-bikes. This one comes in at around 53 pounds, whereas a lot of my other e-bikes fit in the category of 60 to 75 pounds, so it is a little bit lighter. That way it makes it even more easy to be able to lift it up and put it in your car and take it out when you have to haul it. I shouldn't have worn this white t-shirt. I am literally soaking with sweat through it because it's like 90 degrees out today, so this was a bad idea. Okay, so I moved into the shade because it was actually getting really warm out here, but not only is this e-bike great for folding down really nicely, but it also is a cargo e-bike. So it comes integrated with this rear rack, which is great for holding cargo or kids, because it also has this fender on it that protects some of the tire. That way your kid's shoe don't get caught in the spokes or anything like that. So that's a really nice protective mechanism. And also the kickstand has dual legs on it. So it has this leg here and a leg on the other side, which is awesome, so that the bike can stand upright on its own, nice and vertical. That way you can load your child here in the car, not the car, the bike, and then you can get on the bike without even having to hold on to the kid and the bike at the same time. And all you have to do is push the bike forward to actually unlock the kickstands to be able to take off and ride. It also has a really nice vivid display screen here that shows you your miles per hour, your pedal assist level, and then how much battery life you have. It also comes with a front headlight, which kicks on here, and it also has integrated tail light here in the back that also lights up when you squeeze the handlebar here. So that's really nice that it comes with an integrated front and rear light. I really like that when it comes to e-bikes. And what's also really nice about this e-bike is that this front handlebar, you can adjust it to go up higher or lower depending on your ride height. So all you have to do is slide it up or down and then snap it back into place. So that's really nice. That way you can kind of cater the fit of the e-bike to meet your needs and your size. And same with the seat, you can adjust this as well. So I feel like you can kind of critique this to get it exactly how you like to ride, whether you want your seat up high, handlebars low, or vice versa. So it's really nice. I mean, I feel like it's jam-packed with a lot of cool features. Something else I like about this e-bike is that the battery is located out here on the back side of it versus embedded in the frame, because it makes it so much easier to be able to take this battery out. You don't have to unfold your e-bike just to pop the battery out and twist the key. It just reduces the amount of steps you'll have to take to be able to take this out and bring it in the house with you if you want to charge it. But I really like the location that it's positioned on this e-bike.
Tell me something, it might just take the pain away. See, I've been thinking a million things I want to say.
So So as far as the ride quality goes, I felt like it throttled really nicely, and just engaging in the pedal assist levels, it was very responsive, and I had like immediate power from the motor, so there wasn't much of a lag, so it was a very smooth experience actually riding this bike. The one thing I did notice though, that there isn't any gears to be able to shift through, so at like pedal assist level 4 or 5, you do lose some of the pressure in the pedals, so you actually feel like you're loosely pedaling, which isn't as nice as having more resistance in the pedals, but that's just because this doesn't have like gears and a shifting mechanism. You can still go really fast, but the pedals do feel a little more loose. It's also nice that this has a bell it's actually a pretty nice bell that's built into this, because I realized that as I was riding in more crowded areas with more people, it's nice to be able to signal to them that, hey, I'm coming up on you, especially when you're riding an e-bike, you go a lot faster than everybody else. So it's nice to have a bell to be able to signal that you're approaching. A few things about the comfort is I really enjoy that I can adjust the handlebars up or down, because now it's to the level that I like riding at. This is a comfortable level for me. I don't like when my handlebars are forward and it makes me hunch forward. I like when they're more upright. So I like that I can adjust this stem to come up farther, and I can also adjust my seat to drop lower. That fits me more appropriately, so I really enjoy that about this bike. Another thing I noticed when I was riding it is that the front tires are a little bit small, so when you ride one-handed or you're going over top of bumps or things like that, it can feel a little bit wobbly. I never felt unsafe, and I feel like I can ride this bike fine with no problem, but I definitely could notice a little more wobble when I was riding one hand or going over unsmooth terrain compared to bikes with larger tires. So that's how the ride experience went. It was pretty smooth overall. I actually like the way it rides and handles. The motor felt nice and responsive, gave me pretty consistent power as I just drove, but let's go. Now, since this e-bike does such a great job at being able to fold up nice and small, and also the ability to be able to haul things, what are some of its drawbacks then, or trade-offs that you'll see with it? The first thing is going to be that it doesn't have any suspension, so it doesn't have front suspension forks in the front, and it also has 0 rear suspension as well, and the seat is just average. It's there, it's not the most give to it, so the suspension on this e-bike is not the best. You're going to want to ride this on smooth, flat surfaces like pavement, or you could get away with like smooth gravel roads, but if the gravel roads have a bunch of stones in them or bumps, then this isn't going to be a very enjoyable ride. It also has smaller tires on it, which don't help for the suspension either, because average e-bike tires are around 26 inches, where these are only 20 inches. So the smaller size tires aren't going to be able to go over tops of bumps as smoothly either. However, the small tires do help in reducing the overall weight of the e-bike, so it does help in that category, but as far as the suspension and smooth ride, it kind of makes it not so good. Another drawback is that they have mechanical brakes on this instead of hydraulic disc brakes, which I like the hydraulic ones a lot better. These are still a nice brand of mechanical brakes. I still feel like they work very well and do a great job at stopping the e-bike, but I always prefer hydraulic brakes. They just feel easier to squeeze, and it just feels a little more premium in my opinion. Another small drawback that you'll see with this e-bike is that the wires are just out here in the open instead of being tucked away inside the frame. A lot of e-bikes that don't fold, they'll just put all their cable management right into the frame of the e-bike. That way they disappear and it looks really nicely. But for this, being able to fold down, they needed to keep the wires outside so that it doesn't get pinched off and you don't like pinch off your brake lines or anything like that. So it's nice for the functionality of it, being able to fold it, but it just might not look as nice having your wires out here exposed to the open. Overall though, I feel like with this e-bike, they did a great job at picking an ideal customer and making an e-bike for them. This doesn't suit everybody's needs. It's not meant to be a mountain bike. It's not meant to be just a single cruiser e-bike. It's more made for the utility of hauling kids or hauling cargo, and also the fact that you can fold it up really nice and compactly. They didn't throw huge fat tires on it because then that would just make the e-bike heavier. So I feel like they did a great job at just nailing the purpose of this e-bike to be specifically meant for people that want to fold it up and also haul things around. So I feel like they did a great job with that. If you're interested in this e-bike, then I'll put a link in the description below for you to check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on another one.